Good morning, friends. Welcome to IKC Communities. IKC Communities is an initiative from India Kitchen Congress, and it's a place where changemakers of the kitchen and cabinetry industry meet. In today's community meeting, I am honored to have with me two highly accomplished professionals of the kitchen and cabinetry industry, Neetii Maacker and Gopal Dwivedi. Both of them are winners of the Kitchen Professional Award, Neetii in 2023 and Gopal in 2019 and 2014. And in our conversation, I'm going to be asking them what it takes to be a successful professional in the kitchen and cabinetry industry and what impact they are making on their organization and the industry with their body of work and skills. Thank you, Neetii, and thank you, Gopal, for joining me today.
Thank you.
It's an honor and a pleasure.
And I'm sure that our listeners will be able to take away lots of guidance, lots of knowledge to apply in their own respective businesses and careers. The Kitchen Professional Award is something that is common to both of you. I'd like to just highlight what was the criteria for choosing the winner of this award. Of course, Gopal was one of the juries, and he along with Rahul Mehta and Alok Agarwal and Surinder Nanalivu together helped me to design this award, the criteria and the rules. So he's familiar, but just for our audience, I'd like to mention that the objective of the Kitchen Professional Award is to recognize professionals who might be employers or employees who have spent significant part of their career in residential kitchen-related industries, who have contributed to the growth of their organizations in leadership roles, and who have made an impact on the industry through their knowledge and skills. So starting with you, Neetii, could you just briefly tell us what has been your career path like?
Okay, so putting it together very shortly, I started like a typical MBA, got corporate placement, worked with the finance department in a corporate, but very shortly I realized that that was really not my calling. And I, being a people's person and more interested in creating things and looking at things happen, gave me a lot of happiness. And interestingly, at that time, somehow a few of the good architects and designers were actually approaching us to get customized shelves done up for their very high-end clients. Because my husband was into another business of dishwashing racks. So we started doing that, and that's how I got intrigued. And then I traveled quite extensively to Europe and China to kind of understand and grasp the market. And I felt sadly, our life revolves around food. If you look at it, हम सब कुछ कमाते करते तो वो अच्छे 2 वक्त की रोटी के लिए हैं, right? खाना. But in India specifically, the kitchen was the most unhygienic and neglected place in the house. I mean, even when the architecture was planned or the house layout was made, kitchen was actually devoted to space which was left out, and women were not given that authority or power in decision making. So these two I felt were very important factors, which kind of, I felt that I wanted to work something in that space. So one was, of course, the design and the hygiene and creating good, beautiful spaces for people. But other was giving that place the due space. मतलब India में अगर हम traditionally देखें तो रसोई घर को बहुत महत्वता दी जाती है, right? It's a very important sacred place where food is made. But somehow it lost its significance a few years ago. I mean, people were working more on bathrooms and living rooms and decorating all of that. लेकिन वो core घर का जो है वो miss हो रहा. So yeah, that's what actually got me intrigued into the space, and that was just the beginning.
So that's when you got into the kitchen professionally. But what was the nature of your work initially?
So very initially, we collaborated with Livspace Kitchens, and we opened their outlet in Delhi. So that was the largest outlet in North India. right after Lispo, and we were the only ones for that. And we launched CAF, as people know it now. So Nanika International was also a branch of Lispo Kitchens then. So Deepak Anand and Sandeep Anand, we collaborated together, and we brought in, accessories and everything to India. But soon we kind of parted ways because we had a little different thought process. And that's where we started importing a lot of hardware and accessories in India. In fact, got in FGV to India and got them a distributor. We got in Vivo modular kitchen accessories and hardware in India, got them their dealer and distributor, because I was not interested in distribution. I was always interested in creating more, end customer design utilities, but these brands used to keep approaching us because we were amongst the first ones. And I think in 2004 is when we created one of the largest plants in India at that time. It was a completely mechanized, all Desi machinery, all Italian machinery and hardware being used, and started getting into manufacturing. So I can proudly say that I was one of those few women for, I think, the longest time to be well versed with production and material and raw material finishes and seeing the products from start to finish. And in fact, looking at the hardware and the accessory side also first, and then at the design side also. That's where I got into design as well. So I did my interior designs, online course from Australia, because I felt that I should be able to contribute well to the space that I'm doing for people.
So when you got into the design side of the business, so what was the market like? Was there a consciousness for design in kitchen? Because we've always thought of interior design as doing up the drawing room and the bedroom and probably the bathroom. So when you got into designing kitchens, what was the kind of response, or was there a demand for designer kitchens?
Okay, so a very small sect of very, very good creme de la creme architects and designers, they would approach with their best of projects to do up designs for their kitchens and for their clients, because that was a USP for them there, that there is somebody here in India also who has that capability, the way they would have European brands coming into India. But for rest of the people, as I said, when I entered the market, it was more of knowledge creation. So it was more of market creation, also awareness creation also that I got into. So you will not believe it. Actually, I used to create a lot of workshops, especially for couples and, on the other hand, carpenter community, where, we would educate them what are hinges, what are the hardware, what are the different hardwares used, because usse pehle wo piano hinges use hote the. This was the time when we got in the 0 crank hinge and the 15 crank hinge and the 8 crank hinge, and how they make a difference, and why in a particular shutter a 0 crank should be used, while in the other one a 15 crank should be used. So I used to actually, banner laga ke furniture market mein, we used to invite a small community of carpenters to tea and samosas and explain them what this hardware is. Because see, the mindset is, aapko agar koi cheez aati nahi hai na, to aap bol dete hain ye acha nahi. So that is where most of the carpenters would also feel they didn't know how to fix these hinges, because it needed a stencil, right? So it had to be a proper cut for the hinge to be fitted in. So ya wo machine se hota tha, ya wo stencil se hota tha. So for a carpenter to accept and acknowledge कि मुझे नहीं आता, the easier way out was, sir, ये चलेगा नहीं. This doesn't work. So, board में से hinge loose हो जाता है, निकल जाता है. Whereas, so that's what created a lot of misconceptions in people's mind also, especially because most of the European brands then were coming in chipboard.
Yeah.
Right? So particle board is not something which Indian community has ever been comfortable with, even though chipboard works very well worldwide. So it's a tried and tested good board. But yahan wahi hai, half-baked knowledge, half-baked information is very, very risky. So I think a lot of time went into first educating people what a kitchen was. I remember the time when I used to have 5, 6, 10 couples, so about 15, 20 people at a particular time in my studio at that time. And बस वो लगता था कि एक mic की कमी where you would start taking them around and telling them that, this is what an accessory is, ये cutlery drawer है, ये big utensils के लिए है, this is what you will be used. So coming to your point again, kitchen at that time was more of utility And a lot of my time and effort went into educating people that ये utility के लिए भी क्यों important है, या इतनी XYZ square feet space एक kitchen के लिए क्यों चाहिए, or how can we organize our lives better. So, but some stages for some very elite clients, I can't even name them because it was like, really the creme de la that I've worked for some time, for quite a few years. I mean, including the, apart kitchen in PM's home and a few governors and whatever. So, but, there the designing was still involved because the architect and interior designer was high profile. So, yeah.
Do you think that at that time, you definitely needed the support of a professional architect or a designer to be able to sell your design to the customer?
We did. It was more of convincing to the client, but because the architects and designers also mostly did know that kitchen was also a very specialized design area, they had started leaving it to us. So they said, rest of the house we are doing, because you're a specialist in kitchen, this is the kitchen space and you design it. So jahan wo bhi late stage mein hota tha, hum bhi unse discuss karke, we would tell them ki thoda sa aur space allocate kar do, or this is how the kitchen is coming in. So you want an open kitchen, or you want, a U or an L. So who's going to work in the kitchen? Who's going to be cooking? What kind of storage you need? So those kind of questions had to be asked. I had to ask a lot of probing questions to be able to understand that lifestyle of people, but the designers also left mostly to us to do that part. So they would allocate.
But who was calling the shots? Was it the customer or his architect or you while designing or developing the kitchen?
So for very high profile clients, the interior designers and architects, but for end customers, sadly, the husband, the man of the house, not the lady. I used to, no, Gopal begs to differ, but okay, the kind of experience that I have had, Gopal, there used to be a lot of mindset change that was involved. Telling the husband that the lady of the house is actually the one who's using it. Please let her take decisions. Let her come forward and, so she would probably be sitting at the seat a little behind, and he would be the line, "Usne kya karna hai? Paise to maine dene hai." Because the money was in their hands. I'm sure you have every right to have a difference of opinion, but yes, that is my personal experience. It's a hands-on experience of almost 25 years now, but things have changed drastically. Things have changed drastically over these 25 years. These are the times that I'm talking about when you asked me about when we started, those first 5, 7, 8 years, 10 years max. Uske baad cheezein badalni shuru hui. As more women got into profession, they had their own finances. Husbands also realized that this is the house, this is an important place in the house, and she spends a lot of time in the kitchen. So I think that general awareness came in. So I would really thank the hardware brands like Hetic, which came in at market at that time, because they really worked as an accelerator to educate the market. So they had all that, the marketing power to create that kind of awareness and the pull factor that people wanted to put in the hardware and accessories. So a lot of credit goes to companies like them, right? But sadly, yes, uski wajah se, people used to come up and say, Hetic kitchen chahiye, ya Hafli kitchen chahiye. Rather than understanding that they just do hardware and the accessories part, they don't do the rest of the stuff. So that also took a lot of time. Even now, some people come and ask you, that we need a Hetic kitchen, and you have to tell them Hetic does only this. The rest of the kitchen is done by the kitchen people.
Now, since now you are with InnoDesigns, and what you have described is your career path till the time you joined InnoDesigns, if I'm not wrong. So we'll just hold on till there, that moment of your life. And I also want to come back to this point of contention, that who was calling the shots in the kitchen and who's doing it now. But first, I want to now talk to Gopal, bring Gopal into the discussion. Gopal, please tell us briefly about your career. How did you get into kitchens? You were not a kitchen guy at the beginning. I know that.
No. My career, hi, first of all, thank you, Deepak, for this wonderful session. And also thank you, Neetii, to coming with a lot of ideas. But yeah, I will try to keep it balanced, feminist and versus this. So let it be let it be a balanced version of the whole discussion. My career, my career nowhere belongs to interior design and home design. When I start my education, graduation. I am graduate with mathematics, statistics, and economics. These are the subjects which I think nowhere related. Yeah, although the mathematics related with the home budget, but these are the subjects which I graduated with. And then my path was towards the IT. So I had the NIIT. NIIT at that time was one of the leading brand of the information technology, and that time I had it that uh, NIIT for a certain reason for more than 4.5 years. The whole game changed when I came to Mumbai for change the career and join the company named Sleek. So everywhere everybody is aware about the Sleek International. It's I think one of the pioneer who almost play the pivot role in bringing the awareness to the Indian consumer about the modular kitchen and all these things. So I joined that company and I was very surprised. I joined the company as a marketing executive, marketing manager. There was no relationship of designing again at that moment for me. But on an everyday basis, when I see the customer walking to the store and they were spending more than 2 to 3 hours just to sit to wait for the quotation because they selecting something and then the designer is making a Excel sheet and then they are selecting the SKUs and they are making. Sometimes it happens that 4 hours are also less, and they invited them again to the next day or maybe the next session. That that you please come back. Your quotation will be ready in a day or two, or we can meet next week. And that was quite surprising for me, being a person from the IT background, that we are taking days to make the quotation. And that also, like, for the product which is as premium as more than average selling price of the kitchen that time was also 2 lakh rupees. So 2 lakh was a very high budget. So what I did the first time in this industry, I don't know how the claims stand, but yeah, I have a lot of backup of this claim that I make a macro-based Excel sheet first time with uh, which bring the whole making of the quotation from 4 to 5 hours that brings to 20 minutes. And I can tell you with whatever, after that, I meet a lot of people and like a lot of people still tell me that time you changed something. That was the time when you bring your pricing mechanism in 20 minutes. That time there was no such kind of softwares available that bring pricing immediately. And that was the background, my background of the IT helps me to make that whatever I can say it's a jugaad, but it was a quite popular that time and almost more than 200 dealers of Sleek started using that, where the final pricing making method becomes just 20 minutes and you can tell your customer that please sit and have a cup of coffee, I'll prepare a quote for you. So that changed a lot of things for me and for the business to whom I was serving. And I'm telling all this on a documented video to refer some back, go back and check with people. So that was my first achievement, I can tell you, to the industry, that I I explained them that the pricing cannot be the blocker. You can't block your business just because you are not able to make a right pricing on a right time. And you should close the deal immediately because the customer came with their time, they have their scheduled job, they came with a family, husband, wife, kids together came, and now you are just sending them back just because you are not ready with your pricing. So that all of a sudden changed everything. People are sitting there, they are taking the decision on the same day. And it changed a lot of conversion percentages. So I can tell you that somewhere which I feel that was my first contribution to, even if industry may be a bigger word, because that time also there was few of the imported software available, but yeah, people were not using. At least where I was working as a big company, they are not using. And that bring my attention towards those discussion where the customer was sitting with the family, and then slowly the whole inclination towards the designing goes so deep that I went into the whole process of designing from the zero, and I start taking interest. Maybe due to my personal interest towards the art and towards some of the, I was making food from very long time. So the kitchen was my area where I keep working. So that bring the whole interest and attention very quickly, and I understood all the kitchen uses, kitchen processes, accessories. I was a quick learner that time. I learned that whole things. Start setting with the designer. Those time, those ACDW and all this software are there, very easy for people like me, person like me who came from IT background, because we used to work with this on CAD and CAM. So it was easy for me to go into the deep detail. I solved the pricing issue, started involving in the discussion design. And here I get a little bit differ. It's a good to differ with people who you are arguing or you are doing conversation. The shot was not with the man to take a call. It was just a finance, the money, only money, the budget. People, families and husband and wife, they just take a time for few minutes to go aside, discuss that, okay, इतना बजट है, थोड़ा अभी कम कर दो, पैसे थोड़े कम हैं, या अभी इतना नहीं खर्च करना है. But about the color, about the aesthetic, about the placement, about the facilities, about the accessibility, everything was I think mostly discussed with the, it's not good, क्योंकि एक प्रेजुडाइज था बन गया कि किचन में वुमन ही काम करती है नहीं सर. तब ज्यादा होता होगा.
I agree.
आजकल नहीं होता है, और मैं चाहता था कि तब भी नहीं हो. और तब क्योंकि मैं किचन में खुद काम करता था, तो मेरे खुद की माइंडसेट ऐसे थे कि ऐसा जरूरी नहीं है कि किचन में वुमन से काम करे. मैं खुद चाहता भी नहीं था ऐसा, दोनों को काम करना चाहिए. पर हाँ, मैं कहता हूँ कि जो डिसीजंस थे वो जॉइंटली लिए जाते हैं. और ठीक है, क्योंकि सैलरी अर्न करने वाला आदमी को अपना बजट देखना पड़ता है, तो वो ये डिस्कशन जरूर करते थे कि यार अभी बजट 2 लाख रुपए हो रहा है, हमारा बजट अभी 175 है, तो थोड़ा क्या कम कर सकते हैं. वो डिस्कशन वो साइड में बैठ के करते थे. उसमें टाइम भी लगता था, कन्विंस भी करना पड़ता था उनको, मटेरियल के ऑप्शंस बताने पड़ते थे कि थोड़ा 25,000 कम करने के लिए इससे ये कर लेंगे, सॉफ्ट क्लो से नॉर्मल यूज कर लेंगे, या एस 302 से 304 से, क्योंकि तब इस तरह के सारे ऑप्शंस बहुत ज्यादा होते थे. तो अल्टीमेटली तो जॉइंट कॉल ही होता था. और फिर आई थिंक मैं फिर अगेन रिपीट करूंगा, ये जॉइंट ही कॉल होता था. डिसीजन बस
maybe then you're talking about 10 12 years ago, 15 years ago, Gopal, but 15 साल पहले I agree joint call होता था, but हाँ 25 साल पहले joint call नहीं होता था. I am also seeing on a recorded.
अच्छी बात है. तो ठीक है, तो मैं डिसएग्री नहीं करता, लेकिन मैं अपना पॉइंट ऐड कर लेता हूँ कि ऐसा भी होता था, और ग्रेजुअली ऐसा होता जा रहा था. और देन इट्स गुड टाइम नाउ दैट मोस्ट ऑफ द डिसीजंस still the most of the decisions are taken by both of the member, क्योंकि अब जैसे जैसे मेल का इन्वॉल्वमेंट बढ़ता जा रहा है किचन में, वैसे वैसे अब ये कॉल्स में दोनों के इन्वॉल्वमेंट बढ़ते जा रहे हैं. और आई थिंक अब आजकल के दिनों में घर के टोटल इंटीरियर का कॉल हस्बैंड वाइफ दोनों मिल के लेते हैं. तो वो दोनों मिलके तो क्या लेते हैं, आधा तो इंस्टाग्राम और पिंटरेस्ट देता है, और आधा डिजाइनर देता है उन्हें, और बाकी के मैगजीन्स देते हैं. तो थोड़ा बहुत इन्वॉल्वमेंट उनका होता है. बट या इस तरह से दिस इज व्हाट माय व्यूज आर. आफ्टर दैट द जर्नी रिमेन कंटिन्यूड. मेरा इंटरेस्ट बढ़ता गया है इस फील्ड में, और मुझे लगा कि this is the field where I can, accelerate. So then I learn a lot, but at the same time I started, educating people also. क्योंकि जब आप थोड़ा सा आपको टेक्नोलॉजिकल सपोर्ट मिलता है और आप उसमें थोड़े से एक्सपर्ट हो जाते हो, तो then you start teaching also. So what happens, being a lot of people in my company, I started taking a session, and then a lot of dealers start coming to our session, and then it becomes like a small academy inside. So we need to keep educating them about the new catalog, about new product and all these things. And being a multilingual communication, thoda mera मुझे लगा कि I can better communicate people. I started communicated, and then slowly there were two sessions in the company. One was like, when we are doing marketing of the product. Other was there where you have keep educating. And then we start feeling that जब हम educate करते हैं अपने client को, तो उसके results जो हैं better आना start होता है. तो स्लीक के टाइम से ही किचन कंपनीज में एक तरह से एकेडमी स्टार्ट होने लगी. Then I joined a company, H&R Johnson, where there also there's a lot of education was required, because you are getting a designers from those colleges and universities. पढ़ाया ही नहीं जाता है कि किचन क्या होता है, मॉड्यूलर फर्नीचर क्या होता है, पैनल क्या होता है, जॉइनरी. सो एवरी टाइम व्हेन यू गेट एन प्रोफेशनल, आपको केवल आपके हिस्से में केवल एक कैड चलाने वाला इंसान आता है बस, और कुछ भी नहीं, जिसको पता है कि ऑटो कैड कैसे चलाया जाता है. और उसको हम थोड़ा बहुत, क्योंकि उसके बैकग्राउंड में उसको कलर, एस्थेटिक और थोड़ा नॉलेज होता है डिजाइन का. सो दैट वाज द क्राइटेरिया टू सेलेक्ट द इंटीरियर डिजाइनर. बहुत सही नहीं, मार्केटिंग भी चाहिए, कम्युनिकेशन भी चाहिए, कन्विंसिंग पावर वाला भी चाहिए, बट एवरी टाइम द क्राइटेरिया टू सेलेक्ट डिजाइनर वाज ओनली जस्ट बिकॉज उसको कैड आता है और उसने एक जगह इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग का कोर्स कर रखा है. तो सारी कंपनी, मैं अकेले की बात नहीं कर रहा, इवन नीति भी एग्री करती होगी कि सारी कंपनी के लिए चैलेंज यही था कि लोग जब हायर करते हैं तो उन्हें तैयार करना पड़ता है अपने कैटलॉग. आपका कैटलॉग या आपका प्राइसिंग जो है, या आपका प्राइसिंग मैकेनिज्म जो है, आपका ऑर्डर मेथड जो है, वो किसी दूसरे से मैच नहीं करता है. बिकॉज आप क्योंकि ये पूरे मार्केट ऑर्गेनाइज ही नहीं है, सारे लोग अलग अलग तरह से काम करते हैं. So that become a mission, and that was the reason I was keep continuing every time wherever I work, even it's in H&R Johnson or Hindware Evoke or Hatchick, or now from last 7 years to the Livspace. The academy was a core requirement for all of these companies, where we have a complete internal division or department which keep training to the people who are coming from the industry, and we need to tell them and educate about our product, about catalog, the pricing mechanism, the software, the platform you use, and then hence they can create the interior solutions or the kitchen as a solution. So that's the reason, and I think this is what my journey was till date. Me from last many years, at least from 2014, when I received my first award, and this was something of 2019.
Can you just hold it back a bit? And because it's yes, now this is your 19 or 14?
This is my 19.
This is your 19 version. Neetii, can we see your 23?
Here you go.
Amazing. Congratulations to both of you.
Thank you.
Okay. So now let's talk a bit.
I think I need to appreciate the trophy, the logo. Yeah. It's like
floating in the sky.
Somebody is with the flying. It's like a sign of liberty. It's a sign of
I call it the golden bird.
Yeah. So it's like you are giving freedom to somebody.
Yeah. Freedom of thought, freedom of ideas.
Very, very beautiful logo. One of the best trophy received in that.
Thank you indeed. So let's now talk about your current engagements. Neetii, I'll just come back to you. You are with InnoDesign. You are the chief strategy officer at InnoDesign.
Strategy and operations. I handle
strategy and operations. Yes, yeah. Not just strategy, even the operations.
Yes.
And I learned from you that you are traveling almost 10 to 15 days at a stretch when you are away from home and working with the artisans and furniture makers. So tell us briefly about what InnoDesigns is all about and what are you doing there?
InnoDesigns is again a concept I actually sat and worked using design thinking. I'm a design thinking coach, international coach and facilitator. So that's something which I swear by, because it really helps you come up with very innovative and interesting solutions. And that's how InnoDesigns was born, frankly. So it's a hyper-local marketplace where we bring together very small manufacturers of furniture, which are within about 100 kilometers radius of the city where the client is. So if you are sitting in Delhi, we are not in Delhi right now. We've launched in Kerala, so in Kochi, and now we are moving very quickly to Trivandrum, Calicut, and Coimbatore as I speak. Next month, our studios will be ready there as well. So, so wherever you're sitting within about 100 kilometers radius, you would see the local manufacturers and carpenters, their products online, and they would be rated, their products would be rated, and they would be right from the manufacturer's factory. And the best part is they are customized. So we are not keeping any ready stocks which we are importing from XYZ, China or Vietnam or, wherever. So no offense meant to any other company which is doing that. That's their business model, right? But this is what we felt, that India has a whole treasure of manufacturers and artisans and furniture makers, lifelong history hai unki. But unke liye challenges kya hai? One is help in design. Unke saath usually aap baat karenge, they will always come up and say, "Aap bata do kya banana hai, ban jayega." Aesthetics mein sound nahi hai, right? Creativity mein sound hai, banane mein sound hai. Plus, their next challenge is creating their catalog or being able to sell their products. So for them, any customer who approaches them, they don't have the marketing abilities. They don't have, the ability to make that fancy, beautiful catalog, go from interior designer to the other one. So the same chair, which they are making maybe say 5,000 rupees, would be selling at a retail outlet for about 15,000 rupees, right? And wo bhi agar usne, retail guy has put in some inputs and given him that ye fabric nahi, ye fabric use karo, ya ye color combination use karo, to 15,000 ki chair 20,000 ki ho jati hai. That's a fact. But so what we have done is we are giving them all that they need in terms of, training support, in terms of logistics. So from packaging to picking from their place, delivering to a customer's place, and we give them all the marketing and sales support. So all the, social media marketing and all of that is part of InnoDesigns. So I'm in love with the place that we've kind of created.
So this hyper-local business is focused on South India, furniture makers of South India.
So right now we've launched in South India, but we're going to replicate the same business model wherever we go. Because India mein itna aesthetics hai, or alag states, in fact, Gopal and I were having that conversation about, I think, a month or so ago, that we have rich heritage, in our country. Aap dekhoge Rajasthan ka furniture, uska alag style element hai, alag designs hai. Local wood is very different in Rajasthan than what it is in Kerala, for that matter. That Nilambo teak and mahogany and rosewood, we are rich there down south. Similarly, Goa has more of, that bohemian design and more floral prints and use of cane and other things. You go to Northeast, you have very different kind of materials and bamboo and cane furniture again. So har jagah ka ek local, flavor hai, right? And logon ko usually wo aesthetics pasand aate hain. One, it helps you create a very sustainable business model, right? Because you're not spending a lot of time in creating and stocking that material. Secondly, आप वो बना रहे हो जो use होना है. So there is no wastage. आप वहाँ transport कर रहे हो, which is the closest in the vicinity. So it's not wasting, resources unnecessarily, packing from here and shipping it across the country, right? And of course, people get it at the best price or whatever. Because आप locally क्या करते हैं? Usually आप अपना घर बना रहे हो, आपको 2 कुर्सी चाहिए या एक टेबल चाहिए. So you will go out in the market from one shop to the other shop to the other shop. And eventually, by the time you reach the 10th shop, you're confused कि वो second वाले में कौन सा देखा था या first वाले में देखा था, किसका पसंद आया था, and then you would revisit. or the entire family also for that matter will not get time to go together. So you'll probably look for that Sunday or that one day where the entire family gets together and goes charge furniture shopping jayenge, right? So that's what we brought in terms of the convenience from sitting and ordering from home, being able to customize what you want, what you need, and get it delivered at home. And of course, after sales and everything is our responsibility.
So, InnoDesigns is in a way the master marketeer for all these small artisans and small manufacturers.
Yes, because we truly believe in Skill India also. And in fact, we've collaborated with FFSC to do a lot of trainings also from one place to the other, because I feel, unke bhi mindset is something that we are working on right now. So interestingly, some of the artisans will say, what we have is good, is enough. Or the other way is, ye quality बिकती है madam, तो improve क्यों करना? That chalta hai is so prevalent in their heads that this is also selling. So we have to showcase them the world that, look, this is selling, okay, but selling to what kind of brand? And like I said, maybe वो 5,000 की कुर्सी आप deserve करते हो, उस पे 15,000 लेना. Just when you improve your quality to the next notch, you improve your aesthetics or the fabrics or maybe the foam or the springs that you're using inside. So या वो छोटी-छोटी चीजों में जो कटौतियां करते हैं, वो कील ठोकी उधर, and so a little finesse is what is needed. So that's where we are working on their mindset and training them on that it is important to train so that you give a better lifestyle to your family, which they deserve, I feel.
So what's this setup like, the InnoDesigns company? Who are the promoters, and are they connected with the furniture business?
No, interestingly, this is backed by Pan Group, which is based out of Gujarat, Rajkot, and they are into varied other businesses, primarily into commodities and other products, financial services and everything, but no relation to furniture or tech. And they approached me with just 2 words, that they want to do something really interesting and innovative using technology and something in furniture. Because they had done up their house some time ago before I was brought in. And they could see a lot of pain points in terms of, designing and the real experience of seeing a 2D to 3D design conversion or seeing those beautiful walkthroughs. See, actually क्या होता है अभी market में, आप देखो एक gap area और है, जैसे अभी गोपाल जी ने बोला, what do people do? They will go to Pinterest, download some images, left, right, and center, mix and match. And इंटीरियर डिजाइनिंग को होमवर्क देते हैं, मुझे ये वाला बेड चाहिए, ये वाली वॉल चाहिए, ये वाला वो चाहिए. फ्रॉम अ डिजाइनर पर्सपेक्टिव उसका दिमाग खराब होता है ढूंढने में कि अब मैं ये वाला बेड कहाँ से लाऊं और ये कारपेट किधर से लाऊं और ये वॉल टेक्सचर तो चलो फिर भी बन जाएगा, राइट? So that is where the entire long process and recce starts. So I wouldn't want to disclose more, but this is the next in offering that we have in terms of a very different level of user experience, which has not been done in the industry till now. Which are very realistic, product images like Pinterest, where people can just order and shop.
So I think we'll have to wait for that to be launched.
A few months.
Might be another episode of our meeting. Interesting. So Gopal, tell us a bit about your work at Livspace. I noticed that you are now the Global Design Chief of Design Global at Livspace.
इनसे autograph लेना पड़ेगा मुझे before he vanishes and he says I charge.
We'll get him there.
Yeah.
So आप बताइए please, what's happening at Livspace? Livspace has been in the news last couple of days for some very big things. So perhaps you could reveal that also, but otherwise.
Let those news remain the news until any official announcement came to the picture. You're not supposed to discuss any, any such kind of blogs and all these things. Being a responsible person of the representative from the company. So these things happens when you are in a keep evolving companies, and this should be happens. But let's speak about that once something, some official announcement comes. But yeah, what Livspace do is something which Neetii and Neetee's company doing is Livspace is doing a bit completely opposite. We try to, templatize the way of making the home interiors and the experience. When I say templatize, means it's like a common way, or it's a way where everybody get the same process, ease, and timeline, and product and finish and quality at the same time across the geography. And now our geography is extended beyond the geography of the India also. So we are now moved not only in India, but also our operations started at Kuala Lumpur, Singapore, and Riyadh. Soon we'll move to the Dubai also. The main the way of the Livspace work is it's act like a platform, and also it's a technology based company. So we invest very heavy on technology. And when I say technology, I'll explain you how it's a technology based company. But it's a three-way platform where we bring the customer as a first uh, pillar of the whole platform, where the need comes to us. We bring the customer to our platform. The other side, we bring the interior designer to our platform. And third side, we bring suppliers and manufacturers to our platform. And together, all three, we meet the requirement of each other. Customer need product and interior designer. Interior designer need product and customer. And supplier need customer and interior designer. So the Livspace is a place where all these three meet together, and they provide a solution to the end user, which is obviously a customer. Every time they get a seamless experience of having the design ease, the visualization, the perfect pricing, the immediate pricing of the product, the huge library. I can claim that we are having the largest collection of SKUs in terms of, I can say, Livspace is right now having the largest modular SKU libraries, which has more than 460,000 SKUs to offer to the customer. So for that, to offer that, we need obviously need a very sophisticated technology and software where the designer can easily search and filter the product what they want. So that's our own proprietary software where the designers come, log in, they sign in, and they make the design for the customer. And they can communicate in real time to the customer. They can get their need, they can ask their requirement, they can fill their form, they can actually take information about the customer, that what kind of product they need. So that's a standard way of capturing the capturing the requirement from the very first day, and then auto assignment of the designer. We also take care of the load of the designer, that which reason what designer has what kind of load, so the customer can get auto assigned to the designer which has a proper load to handle that customer. And then designer use the centralized library which is built for uh, across the geography, but because it has a lot of option, you can still keep the local flavor or local design for a customer. So if a customer from South India need some design which are more wood centric, then definitely, because your catalog is so rich, you will definitely get that kind of product. At the same time, if your North Indian customer need a little bit more pastel plain colors, again you will easily find into your larger catalog and library. So yeah, I believe that a local customer need a local flavor, but there are two ways. One way is that you make a individual catalog for individual area. But once if the capabilities and technology allow you, and if you have the um, power of investment of having the capabilities of keeping the stocks and manufacturing facility at different places, you can actually offer a larger catalog so the customer or designer can choose whatever they want. Because sometimes it is also possible that a North Indian customer actually wants something which is a South Indian trends or a design which is popular in South India. So for that, local market concept may know sometimes may not work, but like it's a practice or it's a choice of the business what you do. You cannot offer a larger catalog of a local regional, but yeah, you will obviously have a flavor of all of the different designs and aesthetic in your bigger catalog. So that's the way we are making one of the largest catalog, giving to our, they are making the designs for the customer. They are showing them the real-time renders and pricing. And the moment customer like and want to log for go ahead for the design, the whole automation of the system, break the complete order into such a part that complete uh, bill of material goes to various factories. We don't own any factory as being a even unicorn company. We don't have a single factory for our own. So there are a lot of manufacturers who are doing the contract manufacturing for us. But yeah, to ensure the quality of the output, what we do is that we send them raw material. So the raw material sourcing is central. We buy the raw material on our certifications and our quality parameters. Then we send the raw materials to our factories, whoever are signed contract with us for the manufacturing. Even to keep the quality standard seamless, what we do is that we use a technology, like we have our own proprietary technology, which is known as a TARS, which of our manufacturing facility. And at the same time, we use a facilities like IMOS and the other softwares, which help us to, give the same design output everywhere, wherever we the machines. Uh, Even to reach to one level further, we also depute our own quality and managers to the floor wherever the manufacturing is happening. So actually the labor or the semi-skilled or skilled worker who are working on the machines, they are from the factories, but at the various stage, at the receiving part of the raw material till the packaging part of the raw material, we have multiple quality checkers who keep check on the quality what we from to our customer. So you are supplying the raw material, you are supplying, then wherever you are producing the output will remain same. And that's the beauty of what we are offering, that we are offering the same quality product everywhere we are supplying across the country, either it's a Delhi or it's a Coimbatore or it's a Guwahati, wherever it is. So that is the way the Livspace is working. This need a rich catalog. This need a very high technical skill, people who can convert each and every design in such a way to break them in such a way that once the customer finalizes it, the whole product break into pieces, the or maybe the panel goes to one direction, hardware comes from another direction. Full part that of the whole system, that none of our central team or manufacturing facility knows that the panel which is right now producing in the machine belongs to whom. Nobody knows. And at the same time, our technology bring them again. So the whole barcoding system bring everything again to the warehouse in such a way that SKUs related to customer will come together again, and they will become one single SKU at the time of the delivery or the install. So it actually happens sometime that you are ordering the cabinet, the hardware is coming from X part, the carcass is manufacturing may be possible in battery is manufacturing actually somewhere in Nagpur, and then finally the product is actually installing in Mumbai. So that's the beauty of the whole technological arrangement what we are working with us, and that's proudly what I can say is company which organize the whole process of home interior and the experience of making an interior design for the designer also, for the customer also. And I think that's what the need of the market also. So that's what we are doing. And the role, again, just to clarify, the whole catalog or the whole central design, which you can see everywhere on the Livspace catalogs or Livspace installations, so wherever the product SKUs, technical part of that, converting them to the IMOS and configuring them to I do practically my team. And I have a team of great designers and few of the very finest people who understand this configuration between the design and the machine. So that is where my role is to keep the design language and the product language similar across the geography. And I think soon I can tell across the planet also.
Amazing, amazing. It's very interesting to note that while at one end we have this hyper-local business, and at the other we have a business that is not only pan-India, but it's already operating in several other regions, and you're talking about the planet. So we've got, the entire spectrum over here. Briefly, I want to just touch upon now one thing from both of you, Neetii and Gopal. What are the business opportunities emerging through your businesses for channel partners or for others who want to do business with?
Many opportunities. Start from the opportunities for the young entrepreneurs and designers who really want to come into the this whole interior designing business. So we are offering them not only the job as a designer, but we are also engaging them with a business partner also. So we are regularly welcoming the people who are professionals or architects who have their own small setups, studios, staff together. We want them to come on board, use our technology, use our, and we also give them leads also, and we also do the installation for them. So if you try to understand, literally they need to do only what they are made for. The architect and interior designers are made for work for the designs only. They are focused. They should be focused to understand the customer's requirement and then bring and make a good solution for them. They are not actually made for going to site and see the installation. They are not actually made to go to market and ask for the leads and bring the collection and ask for the money or this. That's not their profession, and they are actually not expert in that also. So, and we don't want to do them to do that also. So we are offering them an opportunity to come be a part of the Livspace ecosystem. We will definitely will give them not only the leads, but at the same time the technology, platform, catalog, lots and lots of finishes, material, and they just need to understand the customer requirement, make a solution for them, and then sell them the design. The rest, everything will be taken care of by the Livspace, from the procurement to the manufacturing to the installation to the warranty and services. So that is one of the dream come kind of a profession for the design fraternity. That's one kind of opportunity is available, and it's available in abundance. Like whatever the number you are, we are ready to take you. Second thing is the opportunities for those who are already installed few of the small factories, but they don't know what to do. So we want to tell them that, okay, come to us. We will tell you that how to involve the technology. You may need to do more investment to align with your machines in a factory with the automation. But yeah, then in future your factory will work very well. So for those who are into the manufacturing, we are ready for them to take them on board. Obviously, the third part is that whoever who are into the trading of the finishes, new material, new hardware, they are in touch with us, and our people is always in the touch with them to get more and more different finishes, different design materials. So that's a regular, I think that's a regular practice we are keep doing. We have a central team for the sourcing, and my team also always keep in search with the new material and new things, new finishes, new hardware, new design. So if somebody is in dealing with them and if they have something unique proposition, bring to us. We are ready to onboard them, because we are almost like a launch pad. We have 2,500 designers who at the same time who can see once a product is onboarded. We have internal academy where we launch some products. So the moment a new product is coming, 2,500 professionals see them immediately. That's one of the rare opportunities. People can't even do these kind of launching program by spending a lot of money, because collecting 2,000 professionals at one stage is impossible task. You can't do a launch program where you can invite 2,500 professionals, but we can do, because we have our own internal launchpad programs. We have our own town halls, panchayat, these kind of terms which we used for our internal communication, where we launch these kind of new products. So if some new product is getting launched, I can tell you that Livspace platform is one of the best platform where somebody can, launch a new, because across the country, more than 2,500 professionals who can immediately talk about the product immediately next to their 10 probable customer. So this number can immediately become 25,000 at the same time, the moment we launch them. So this is another opportunity which is available to us. So I think I touched the customer point of view. I touched the interior designer fraternity, manufacturers and traders all together. Definitely. I think a lot of opportunities are available.
Coming to you, Neetii, what opportunities is InnoDesign offering for partners?
When we came up with the business model, we were very clear that it has to be an ecosystem which works for all the possible stakeholders. Any business model, I think when you come in, you have to take care of all the possible stakeholders, right? So one, of course, it gives employment opportunities to a lot of people who are locally based, who are working in that market into the industry. Secondly, we understand that India is still largely an unorganized sector. And like I said earlier, there are very small pockets of small manufacturers, small factories, small manufacturing artisans, a carpentry workshop, which has 5-7, people working with him, helpers, who have a lot of pain points, like I said, in terms of designing, in terms of manufacturing, and more in terms of being able to market and promote their products and being able to handle the logistics, because they're all single entrepreneur, businesses. Most of the time, what they're doing is firefighting. अभी आज हम ये भी देख लें, procurement भी देख लें, कर लें, बेच भी लें, सब कुछ नहीं कर सकते, right? So we want them to manage only their manufacturing part, and rest of it we take care. So of course, the entire large unorganized sector, this is an opportunity for each one of them who believe in their business, who believe in the passion, who have good quality of product. We have our QC teams in place where we help them. We have our designers in place where we help them to improvise on their designs, to improvise on their production in terms of the product output. And the ultimate product QC is also done by our team. And of course, besides that, the interior designers, like I said, it's a big challenge for them when customers download the Pinterest pictures and go around hunting. So we are giving them that power to choose and power to customize. And they can just come online and pick up the products, what they want, and they can be incorporated in their designs, or they give us their design products and we create and manufacture that one-off piece of that bed or the sofa or whatever, which is as per their, liking. So they don't have to compromise. So yeah, that's what we are trying to build.
There is no contradictory part in what Neetii's company is doing and what Livspace is doing. They are actually complementary. They are complementary.
Absolutely.
Because every home needs the land. There are few of the products which actually you need from the organized player. Maybe take it as a modular kitchen, maybe the modular wardrobes, few of the storages, beds, maybe some of the things. You actually need them from being a thematic perspective or maybe a timeline perspective. But then there are many things which we don't manufacture. We are not an artist. But still, when you make a home design, you need some things. Your home design doesn't complete without the things which are specialized, which are geographically specialized. Maybe southern part has some of the very unique things, and northern part has a very unique thing. So your design doesn't complete with the flavor of the both. So you need some of the standard product. You need some of the customized product. Our specialty is a standardized product. Our specialty is unique experience. Our specialty is the timeline focus, the quality focus. I think Neetii's company's specialty is the uniqueness, or maybe the individuality, or the personalization, or maybe the things which you can see the local flavors or available.
So it's not just about flavors. We also believe that, especially when it's concerned with wood, natural environment mein jo wood seasoning hai na, you can't beat that, right? A plant or a tree which has grown in Cochin or whatever, the outskirts of Kerala, you know, that teak wood is naturally grown there. So the amount of seasoning or treatment or whatever, I mean, I may quote Rujuta Diwakar here. She says na ki aap jitna local and seasonal khaoge, utna aap healthier rahoge. So it's a more sustainable business order. And as you rightly said, Gopal, they're very complementary. So it's not that, I mean, we never said that we were competing brands. We were always...
Whenever we do the session, you won't take this background. You need to remove this engineering board.
Right?
You need to remove the engineering board, the background, because this is a very standard product.
No, this is my team's work, okay? I have been a kitchen professional 25 years now. That's my blood. Come on.
This is not hyper local product. This is a product which is available across the country. Same. So you need to be little.
No, this was customized. So the shutters that you see here are all PU shutters, which were manufactured for a customer. मतलब वो rod shade देके customize होके बनाए. Okay, ये मेरा वाला blue है.
News panel में झगड़ा होना चाहिए ना वैसा थोड़ा.
I think we can take a break here and make up. But very interesting thing I noticed.
Two things I did, just two things I need to add before we conclude, because I think we should conclude, or you might be conclude at any point of moment now. Yes, regarding this organizing the market is a very important, because the 90% of the Indian market is still unorganized. So whatever they do, they go and work with local artisans and explain them how to make a better design and how to use a better technology is also a way of organizing the market. Or a people like us who want to organize everything in one shape is also doing, similarly job to teach the manufacturer how to do the right manufacturing, the designers that how to use a centralized catalog and how to make a seamless experience. Organizing a market is very important, and that's what I think we are doing. We should keep doing, because the proportion is right now still, it's an ratio is not organized. Next 10 years for the Indian market is very, very bright, because we are moving from organized to, unorganized to organized. So that's one point I want to make it, and where we are doing. We should keep the things continuously. Second important thing is that we need to push we need to develop an awareness to our education system to bring some of such kind of knowledge to the young entrepreneur and to the designer about what we are doing in the home interior design section. Like it may be a panel-based product, or it may be engineering, it may be a factory product, or it may be an artisan product. None of such kind of education is available to the practical education for schools and colleges. We should raise this voice, and we take this point to the authorities that at least be practical. We teach them something practical which is actually used in the market. You are not teaching them the right software. You are not teaching them about the right material available. You are not teaching anything practical which is required. You are just copying and pasting some of the European design concepts and some of the very basic design things. So somehow we need to take this voice to the academics and to the colleges that please involve such kind of programs and such kind of things in your system, so that we can actually get some of the better breeds or some of the better designers to this ecosystem. And companies like us doesn't waste 2-3 months to train them to come on board and then start working on them. So that's a very important message I want to flow via this chat what we are doing. And definitely, yeah, very true. FFFC, like these kind of platform are already start working on that. I'm one of the board of director who is working with making program or shaping up the program for the few of the chapter, which is definitely going towards this direction. And maybe soon we can see them to the schools, or maybe see them. So that's something some work is going on, but we need a lot of such work regularly in that session. So we all should thanks to the organizations like FFSC, Skill India program, all these things that they are working on this. We should definitely thank you the people like you who are organizing such kind of webinar where.
Well, Deepak ji had two interesting things to share. वो भूल जाएंगे आप तो thank you note कर लेके. You'll be like, okay, he's signing off.
To both of you for not only joining me here, but also bringing about so much change to the industry with your kind of approach, progressive approach that you guys have. And of course, Furniture Fitting Skill Council is a godsend for our industry. No doubt about that. They're doing a great work.
So Gopal has already given his starting speech. He's not allowed now. I know he was about to say that, but I will take the opportunity on behalf of Gopal and me to thank you, Deepak ji, for this beautiful initiative. When you approached me for this IKC Communities and you said, would you want to be? I was like, oh, that's first and foremost a very, very beautiful, thoughtful initiative. And I and Gopal wish you amazing, amazing success. And thank you for having us as the first panelists or speakers on this session. I thoroughly enjoyed myself. So thank you for this beautiful thought and thank you for having me over. Over to you, Gopal.
No, that's same thing. Thanks everybody for joining, being part. Thank you, Deepak for organizing. Thank you, Neetii, for being such a wonderful speaker and share your thoughts. And you guys can follow us on our social media. At least you should. Now it's a time to be in touch with each and everybody at social media. So let's follow and keep ourselves updated. Have a nice day. Enjoy the weekend. Bye bye. Thank you.
To all of you.
Thank you.